All right, guys, so once you have finished your weaving and it is about the height of your hand or even a little bit more, you are ready to weave the tab part. And remember, when you are weaving a tab, this is going to be the part that just kind of flips over on your pouch. So you are only weaving it on one side. So far you have been weaving one row on the front, flip it over, one row on the back, flip it over, again and again, all the way. But now, wait for the announcements.
I need the Joy siblings to the office as well.
All right, so now you are ready to do the tab part. And what that looks like is weaving zigzag instead of front and back. So this row, last row started under. So the row on top of it has to start over. That is what we mean when we say opposite rows. So I would weave this last row, and I am not flipping my loom back and forth. I am just weaving on one side when I make the tab. So it's different from the rest of them. Okay? All right, I would pull it all the way through. And now what I want to do is tie the end of this to this first string. So the way that I'm going to do that is to take the end, wrap it around the first string like this, wrap it around, and send it through the loop. Whoops, let's do this again. Send it through the loop. Like that. Maybe tie one more knot. Okay. And now that my yarn is knotted to one of the strings, after I finish the tab, and the tab is about like 2 inches high, now I'm ready to actually take the cardboard loom out. So I'm not going to leave the cardboard in because that was only there to help me create my weaving. So this is the kind of part where we are going to tie each of these warp strings together at the top to make everything stay put and not unravel. It's important that it doesn't unravel. If you have extra, just leave this off to the side. All right, notice how we still have a little bit of the vertical string on the top of the tab and on the back. So we're going to push down, and what we're going to do is we are going to snip them at the very top. The reason we're doing this is so that we can get our weaving off of the cardboard. So first I'm going to start on the back. I do not want to snip close to the last row. Why? Because I want plenty of string to work with to be able to tie 2 knots. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this using my scissors. Really make sure that you are cutting it as close to the top as you possibly can. The shorter your string, the harder it is to tie pieces together. Make sure those are just staying nice and put. All right, cut all the way. Don't cut down here, cut near the top. Every single vertical string we're going to snip off. Some might just come off from the top like that. That's fine. All right. Before you tangle these up and try to take it off, what we're going to do is take every two strings like this, separate those from the rest, and we are going to tie them together. Pick them up, and when you're tying a knot, you bring the tails like that, right? Pull the tails through, tie a knot, then make a double knot. I know the announcements are there, but we're going to keep going. Take the next 2 strings, tie a knot,
Montessori,
tie another
reaching
knot.
our youth, little learners, family affairs,
Take the next two,
potential after school,
tie a knot,
and unique kids. Dismiss the lead
tie another knot.
Montessori,
The next
reaching
two.
our youth, little learners, family affairs, potential after school, unique kids. Last one, lead Montessori, reaching our youth, little learners, family affairs, potential after school, and unique kids. Have a great afternoon, lead.
And tie. Keep going until you have tied all of them together. All right, so what I'm doing is I am tying all of my plastic yarn nice and tight so that it doesn't unravel. That's why we're doing this. If you get to the end and let's say maybe you had 3 strings, instead of 2, what you can do is grab the 2 together and tie it to the 1. But if you just have 2 at the end, tie them the rest. Tie them the same together. Okay. I have just tied all of these. I flip it over and I cut the top of these. Some of these, if you just snip it on one, they'll both pop out, so that can work too. Okay, here we have it. So these are slightly shorter because I had the tab part up higher, but it still is just the same. I'm going to tie two at a time together. 2 at a time together. Take the next 2. Tie them together. Next 2. Tie together. It looks like I maybe have 3 on the end, so I'm going to tie 2 strings to 1 string so that I can just wrap it up. Make sure you have all of them tied together like that, and you can even do double knots. Double knots will be best for this, okay? All right. Okay, now these are tied on the front and the back. And now we are going to take this off of the cardboard loom. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going to just literally work it down, just kind of pull it down a little at a time. If you tied or if you were weaving tight, it should come off pretty tightly. And you literally just have to work at it until it is completely off of your loom. We're about halfway there. We don't need the cardboard anymore. Try your best to keep this slightly flat. Your loom kind of flat. Work it off. And now we have our bag. It is off of my loom. It's looking really good. I'm going to flatten it out. And now all I need to do now is just take my scissors and snip the tails off of my strings all the way and snip the remaining of my plastic yarn. I would snip all the way, and then this would be my completed pouch. Good luck, guys.